So I'm going to, this is, what was this called? This is called compare and evaluate expressions with parentheses. So a lot of the things that we do, that we create, and that we solve are going to have parentheses in them. That's going to help us figure out which things that we need to solve first, which part of our number sentences that we need to solve first. Okay, so I want you to copy down this tick diagram somewhere. Don't solve anything. It's okay. You can throw it on my foot, so you'll be all right. So, now, what they're wanting you to do is they're wanting you to take this tape diagram and see if you can come up with the number sentence, the written expression, the number sentence, not solving it, but the number sentence that would go with it. Now, I know that a lot of you are wanting to write 20 somewhere. Is there a 20 anywhere?
No.
No, so I don't want to see 20. What do you know? What do you see? I see a whole bunch of erasing everywhere. What do you see?
Well,
What do you see?
I see there's 4 and there's 3. No, I see there's 4 squares.
Okay, so there's 4 squares.
And there's 3 altogether. I mean, it's 4 altogether. And then there's 1 left. So, and 9 plus 11 is 20, so I see
I don't want to hear 20. I don't want to. 20 is not in anyone's vocabulary right now.
So what I picked in the 4 squares is 5.
You see, we're not solving anything. We're writing a number sentence that goes along with this picture so that we can solve it. So, what number sentence are you going to write? 3/4, because that's right here. The question mark, 1, 2, 3, out of 4,
Just figured that out.
of,
9 plus 11.
yours, of 9 plus 11. Now this of will become what?
20. No.
A multiplication sign. 3/4 of 9 plus 11. Now, oh my gosh, why did I write that? I did not mean to do that. 9 plus. I'm so sorry. Now, can you solve that?
Yes.
Yes. Now you can solve that. So the question mark is that it's 3/4 of the total. That's 9 plus 11. It gave us this information that the tape diagram is 4/4, which is 9 plus 11. The question mark is 3/4. We just had to write a number sentence that was giving us this information. So 3/4 times 9 plus 11. Now what's 9 plus 11? 20. So 3/4 of 20. So, and then you're doing the thing. 20 divided by 4. 5. 20 divided by 4 equals 5. 5 times 3 equals 15. So the question mark is 15.
Oh, now I get it. Just like
Okay, so now let's look at, now this one's really going to stretch your brain, and if you kind of look at it and go, what did you just do? It's okay, because
You did.
no, I didn't. They did. So it's okay. We really had to work through this one, and that's all right. This is only the second problem. It's okay. Okay, so here's your tape diagram. Okay, so there's the first part. What we don't know is this. This time we don't know the total. However, we do know that 1 unit is 1/3 minus 1/4. So this is like those problems where we were trying to find the magic number, where we would say 1/5 of the total of the magic number is 1/3 minus 1/4. How can you find the magic number? Now see, Riley at one point, when it wasn't all fractiony, was really good. I mean, she was like, bam, figuring it out. Now, of course, she's like, oh my God, you put me on the spot. Don't do that. But that's okay, because it looks really confusing. But when we do the expression, you're going to go, oh, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? It should be, because it's the same thing. How many pieces are there?
5.
5. How many do we know?
4.
How many do we know?
1.
We know 1. So if we know 1, do we know all of them?
Yes.
If these were regular numbers, if this one's 2, what's this one? 2. Then this one is 2, and this one is 2, and that one's 2. So if we were trying to find the magic number, what would we do to that 1, 2? We would add all the numbers together, or we would multiply it by 5. So why can't we do the same thing even though it's fractions? Oh, I didn't think about it that way.
Because the numerators are different.
But we're not worrying about that right now. Are we trying to solve it right now? No, we're just trying to get a number sentence. See, that's the one thing that messed up first period. They were already on, I have to solve this right now, before they even had a number sentence to solve. Is there even a number sentence right here on my smartboard? No. So what are you supposed to solve? You don't even have anything to solve.
Unless you stop.
I have a blackboard. I can't solve anything. Amen. Hallelujah. And there's nothing to solve. So what can I solve? Help me get something to solve. I almost movie lined it. Oh my gosh. I had to stop. Okay. I need a support group. I almost threw it in there. Whew.
It's okay.
Okay, so give it to me. Melanie, please give me something right. Your hand was up there, so that was telling me you had something for me to say.
That was, it's salt.
It was up 2 or 3 times. Come on.
3 and 4 keep going. See, I told
Quit
you.
trying to give me a common denominator. Quit. I'm not common denominatoring anything. I better be writing this somewhere.
Oh, it's 1 0.
I'm not listening to you right now.
I ain't got nothing.
If you ain't got nothing, then you must have something, because that's a double negative, and 2 negatives make a positive.
I don't have anything.
That's much better, thank you. Jawan, what do you have? Okay, so we have 1/3 minus 1/4, so that's something. What do I have to do with it to try to get this question mark that's right here? Because right now, it's just sitting there, still not going to help me get that question mark. What do I need to do with it, Jamarco? Ooh. Okay. Let me put those in our parentheses. You what? 5. Because if I do it by 1/5, and that's only telling me 1/5. 1/5 is right there. It's only 1 square. But if I do it by this one, 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 guess what it tells me? It's that. Just like if they were a 2 here, a 2 here, a 2 here, a 2 here, and a 2 there. I know! You guys were freaking out because there were fractions and you kept trying to go, but the denominators aren't the same. So, but now that you have a number sentence and I need to solve it, now I need to go, but my denominators aren't the same. Now I need to go there. Now my denominators aren't the same. What does it need to be? 12. So I need to have a 12 here, and I need to have a 12 there. I told you subtracting and adding fractions was never going to go away. 4. Okay, so 3 goes into 12. 4 times. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 goes into 12. 3 times. 1 times 3. 3. And I'm going to bring this down because I have not used it.
I did it.
4 minus 3. 112. So this is 112. This is 112. This is 112. You see where we're going with this? Yes. This is 112. This is 112.
Now I know what you're doing.
Yeah, you know what I'm doing. So 112 times 5. So I'm going to write it up here because there's no room. 112 times 5 is equal to 5 12.
Good job. Hold up my pen.
Okay, so I'm going to write something else, and I want you to write again an expression that goes along with what I write.
Two on the top and then minus 6. There's a 2 and 2/3. I can't even write those. Oh my God, that's exactly what they do.
The product, all I saw was this.
And then
It has to be in your written expression. The whole thing. The whole thing.
oh, it has to be like that.
It has to be written all the way out. Because you're going to see it that way. Now, I'm not calling you out because I saw, and it wasn't just you because I saw it this morning too. I saw where there were some where it was like this, and then I would see this. Yeah. And then I would see this. I mean, you can say, but I got this written over here. You're not going to see this. If it's a multiple choice test, you're not going to see this. You're going to see that. Because it has to be in the entire expression. It has to be written, the product of 4 and 2 divided by 3. It has to be all written together. I mean, I get what you're doing when you do this, but it has to be all written together in one number sentence. So it's the product of 4 and 2 divided by 3. It all has to go together in one solid sentence. Because you wouldn't be like, I walk my dog down the street. It all has to be one solid sentence together. That's why I was walking my dog down the street. It has to be together. So, and I feel bad because one of them I wrote it wrong this morning. But that was okay. 2 divided by 3 times 4. 2 divided by 3 times 4. 4 copies of the sum of 1/3 and 1/3 4/3 double 2/3 times 4. Oh, 2 divided by 3 times 4. Okay, so the first one, so all of these you should have had 8/3 or 2 2/3 except for this one right here. So this one, 2 divided by 3 times 4, you go left to right. So 2 divided by 3 times 4, you end up with 8/3 I. That's why you're not supposed to have mechanical pencils. Equals 2 2/3. So with 2 divided by 3 times 4, since this one is in parentheses, you do this one first. 3 times 4 is 12. So with 2 divided by 12, this would be 2 divided by 12. Oh, darn it. My brain's not working. 4 copies of the sum of 1/3 and 1/3. So 4 copies of the sum of 1/3 and 1/3. The sum is X.
Oh!
If you were subtracting, it would say difference. Silly kid. So the sum of 1/3 and 1/3 is 2/3. 4 times 2/3, 8/3 equals 2 2/3. 4/3 double. 4/3 times 2 equals 8/3. And I'm going to step on 2 2/3. 2/3 times 4. 8/3. Golly. 2 2/3. 2 divided by 3 times 4. 2 divided by 3 times 4. Yep, 8/3. Okay, so let's look at this. I'm going to lock this down because I know when I write on it, they tend to move. Okay, so it says, move this down out of the way. So it says write expressions to match the diagrams and then evaluate. When it says evaluate, that just means solve. So here we have, for number 1, we have the tape diagram where it has 8 plus 9 on the top of the diagram. We have the diagram separated, split up into parts. and then we have a question mark under the part. This is like the very first problem that we did. So, what number sentence can we put with this diagram? What can we do? What can we write to go with that? Huh?
1/3 of 8 plus 9.
1/3 times 8 plus 9.
I think you want 1/3.
Because there are 3 parts.
Oh, yeah.
And there's only one of them that's got a bracket with it. So 1 out of 3, 1/3 of 8 plus 9. And then they want you to solve it. So what is the question mark actually worth? So when it says evaluate, so 8 plus 9 is
17.
17. 1/3 of 17. 17 thirds, which you don't leave that, it's improper. 5 and 2/3. If you divide 17 by 3, 3 goes into 17 5 times with a remainder of 2. Are you writing this down? Please tell me you're writing this down. So, this is not the same as this. The difference is here we don't have the total. Here we have the parts. So what are we, this is just like the second problem we did. So here I have 3/5 plus 1/2. And we're trying to figure out what is the question mark. So how are we going to figure out the question mark, LaDiamond? What times 3?
3
Uh-huh. 3/5 plus 1/2 times 3. Because this one is 3/5 plus 1/2. This one is 3/5 plus 1/2. This one is 3/5 plus 1/2. Now, solve it. Common denominator. 10. 10. 5 goes into 10. 2 times. 3 times 2. 6. 2 goes into 10. 5 times. 1 times 5. 5.
11
So 11 tenths, which is improper. But right now, I'm just going to leave it like it is, because I don't want to try to multiply a mixed fraction. I haven't taught you how to do that yet. Times 3. So that would be 33 over 10. Multiplying a mixed fraction really isn't that hard, but I haven't taught you how to do it, so just don't. So 33 over 10 is 3 and 3 tenths. So this is 11 tenths, this is 11 tenths, this is 11 tenths. So the total is 33 tenths. You just did when you made it 3 and 3 tenths. So, see if you can write the expression for 1/6 the sum of 16 and 20. 1/6 the sum of 16 and 20. Be very aware of where you are finding the sum. Okay, what does it look like?
1/6 plus 1/6 times
1/6 the sum of 16 and 20. Marco, what am I doing?
1/6. I think 16
Yes. The sum of 16 and 20. You're adding those, and you're taking 1/6 of it. It's okay. 1/6 the sum of 16 and 20. Be very careful to what it's saying. Then solve it. But some people haven't. Hold on. Slow your roll. Hold on, Elena. I'm looking at you. Hold on. People haven't solved it yet. They need to solve it. Make sure their number sentence is right because they did their number sentence wrong. Hold on. So, all right, Melena, what did you do?
Okay, I did 16 plus 20, and I got 36. And then I did 1/6 times 36. And then I got 6 because 36 divided by 6 is 6. 6 times 1 equals 6, and that's the answer.
36 divided by 6 is 6. 6 times 1 is 6. You heard a lot of 6's because there's 36 and a 6 and then a 6 and then a 6. So, yeah. Subtract 5 from 1/3 of 23. I'm just reading. Subtract 5 from 1/3 of 23. Subtract 5 from 1/3 of 23. Alright, LaDonna, what'd you do? Close. Okay, now if you did 5 minus, I want you to pay attention that it says subtract 5 from. It doesn't say 5 minus, it says 5 from. So that tells you the order. Yeah, you're still subtracting, but it's giving you the order. Jeremy?
1/3.
Jeremy? 1/3 of 23 minus 5. Subtracting 5 from 1/3 of 23. So it was telling you that once you did this, you had to subtract 5 from it. If you put the 5 in the front and you subtract this from 5, your answer would be very different. It would make a difference. Plus, 1/3 of 23, I believe, would be bigger than 5. So you wouldn't be able to subtract it from 5. So 1/3 of 23. So 3. 7. And 2/3.
2 2/3.
No.
Oh, man.
7. Oh, you. Yeah, I was thinking about the whole. You're right. So 7 and 2/3 minus 5. I'm so silly, Alton. I was thinking the 7 minus 5 and 2/3. My brain got warped there for a minute. It's 2 and 2/3. Derp, Alton. Now you gotta go dumb. I made so many mistakes today. So it's 2 and 2/3 because the 5 doesn't have anything. That's like 7 whole pizzas and 2/3 of the pizza minus 5 whole pizzas.
Me too. I got it.
So 3 times as much as the sum of 3/4 and 2/6. That is the expression.
Yay.
That's what it looks like. Okay. So 3/4 and 2/6. I can't add those because there is not a common denominator. Least common denominator would be 12. If you did 24, it's not wrong. You just have to work more, but it's 24 wrong. No, just 12 is better. So I'm going to do 12 because it's less work. So that's 3, that would be 9. That's 2, that would be 4. 3. So 3 times 13 over 12. So I'm working over here, so I ran out of room. 3 times 13.
It's 52. I think. Oh, you told me wrong.
Why aren't you doing your own?
I just asked her that.
So 13 times 3 is 39. 39 over 12. So see, if you did 24, then your numbers are going to be way bigger. Yes, sir? 39. Okay, so 12, and that's fine too. 12 into 39 goes 3 times with 3 12. So 3 and 1/4. You got that?
That is why you simplify it.
Well, but you got 3 and 3/12? Awesome, Alton! High five in the air!
It was the first time. No?
2/5.
Brooklyn.
Alright, try this one. 2/5 of the product of 5, 6, and 42.
Huh? I did that.
2/5 of the product of 5, 6, and 42. 2/5 of the product of 5, 6, and 42.
You're recording.
You're recording.
Okay.
Miss Strickland, you're recording. I know.
I got it.
What you got?
How about
So close. 2/5 of the product. 5, 6, and 42.
I got it.
2/5 of the product of 5, 6, and 42. So of course you've got to do the parentheses before you do the outside. So 42 divided by 6. 7. 7 times 5? 35. So then it's 2/5 times 35. So 2/5 is 35. So then you've got to do this. 35 divided by 5. 7. 7 times 2. 14. So your answer should have been 14 for D. Well, I ran 8 copies of the sum of 4/3 and 2 more. Woo boy! So let's think about that one. 8 copies. So what does that mean I'm going to be doing?
Adding.
8 copies. So think about that sheet. 8 copies of something. What am I doing? Am I adding 8 more?
No,
I'm multiplying. So it's 8 times something. So it's 8 times something. 8 copies of the sum of something.
8 times 4.
So 8 times the sum of something. 4/3.
4/3.
4/3 and 2 more. So I'm just doing one thing at a time what it's telling me. 8 copies of the sum of 4/3 and 2 more. So I'm going to add this right here. What do I get?
You get 8.
2 and 4.
Wait, no.
Well, what else would you get? Which is also equal to 3 and 1/3. So 8 times 3 and 1/3. So, what is 8 times 3?
24.
24.
Just 1/3.
8 times 1?
10 and 4.
8 times 1. 8. But you weren't answering the question.
This is what I'm saying.
8. And then I leave the denominator alone. Because when I was multiplying up here, did I ever mess with the denominator?
No, you don't.
And so I still don't. So, this is improper.
Okay.
So, how many times does 3 go into 8?
2 times. 2 and 2/3.
So it's 20. I still have 24. Can't ignore that. 26.
26 2/3.
2/3.
26 and 2/3.
Four times as much as 1/3 1/3 of 8. 8/3. 4 times. So that would be 32. Thirds.
I don't know what you're doing.
4 times 8. I'm just going to multiply because this does not simplify.
Well, don't care if I do. 4 times 2 2/3. Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, but it's just, yeah.
Just 4 times at the end.
Does it matter? 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2? Okay, so 3 goes into 32. That means 1. 2, that goes into 0 times. 10. 2/3. Now, I'm using, excuse me. So, now, it's recording, so if I have to call you out for still doing this, it's going to happen. So, Rodrina, I appreciate what you did. She did it a little bit different. She asked, can I do this as 2 and 2/3? She did 8/3 and went ahead and made it a mixed fraction. And that's fine, but she did end up making one tiny mistake. Okay, good, we're going to erase. So I'm going to erase this part so we can see it was one tiny mistake, but it ended up making her answer wrong. So when she had the 4 times 8/3, and she made the 8/3 2 and 2/3, she did 8, but then she did 2/3. Nothing personal. It would be because I haven't truly taught you how to multiply this way. If you're going to multiply like this, it really is easier. But if you're going to do it, you have to multiply 4 times the whole number, 4 times the numerator. So it should have been 8 and 8/3. That's how I got 10 and 2/3. Because when it's 8 and 2/3, you're left with, that's not the right fraction. So here, with it being an improper fraction, you had to keep going. 8 goes in here 2 times. That's where the 10 comes from. So 3 goes into 8 2 times. And you're left with 2/3. So 2 plus 8 is 10. and 2/3. So the 2 from this improper fraction. If you
Oh,
multiply,
yeah, that is 10.
yeah, 2 plus 8 is 10.
Oh,
So if you're going to do it this way, you have to make sure you take your number, multiply it by the whole number, multiply it by the numerator, but you leave your denominator alone because it is the same as repeated addition. It's 4 plus 4, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is 8, and 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is also 8. You wouldn't add that numerator 4 times and still have 2. You would add it, when you add fractions, don't you add your numerators?
yeah.
Yeah. So I would have had an 8 here and not a 2. So that's why you multiply your whole number and you multiply your numerator.